In a small village outside Osaka, a woman died in a coma. She suddenly felt like she was being brought to heaven and stood in front of the voice of her ancestors. "Who are you?" said the voice to her. "I'm the mayor's wife," she replied. "I didn't ask whose woman you are, but who are you?" "I am the mother of 4 children." "I didn't ask whose mother you are, but who are you?" "I'm a school teacher." "I didn't ask what your profession is, but who are you?" And that's how it went. Whatever she answered, she didn't seem to give a satisfactory answer to the question. "Who are you?" "I'm a Shinto." "I didn't ask what your religion is, but who are you?" "I'm the one who wakes up every day to take care of my family and nurture and feed the young spirit of the children at my school." She passed the investigation and was sent back to Earth. The next morning she woke up at dawn with a deep sense of meaning and purpose. She took care of her children's lunches and organized nice classes for her students that day. The woman had discovered her Ikigai. The Blue Zones is about a research done in 2012 and 2013 by Jan Butner. It was a research project where they wanted to discover why in certain areas of the world people grew older, healthier and happier than one should expect looking worldwide. They found 5 of these longevity hotspots and found out there were 9 similarities between these places. 1. Moving naturally. Exercising regularly by walking, gardening, or exercising lightly. Especially walking is good or is a good way to get to your daily movement. 2. Ensure a purpose, a passion in your life, something that gives you energy. People who wake up in the morning and have a clear goal in mind quickly add up 7 years in their average life expectancy. So a grandmother who has to help her grandchildren do their homework will feel happier and healthier than a grandmother who doesn't play a role within the community. In the blue zones, the elderly are seen as the wise people. 3. Slow down. Prolonged stress is bad for humans. Find time to relax, find resting moments and find time for yourself and to share your emotions. The modern information society, with all the new techniques, makes it difficult for us to really relax. 4. The 80% rule. Don't continue to eat if you're 80% full. It takes your stomach about 20 minutes to inform your brain you've had enough. So if you keep eating till your brain says stop, you've overeaten by about 20%. Also, it is important to consciously enjoy your food and not just eat without being aware of what you're eating. 5. Focus on plant-based food. It is striking that in every blue zone one eats mostly natural foods. Beans, nuts and green leafy vegetables are very healthy. Eat smaller portions of meat and eat them no more than twice a week anyway. 6. Good news for the wine lover. Wine is regularly drunk in all blue zones, but pure wine with few additions. Limit this to 1 or 2 glasses of organic red wine and drink this with friends at dinner. 7. The right environment. To be born in social circles with good family ties and friends prove crucial for a longer healthy life. In the blue zones, people know their neighbors and surroundings well. They meet with family at fixed times, and this creates an ultimate sense of security. 8. Faith, spirituality. Almost all people from the blue zones are religious, and belief does not necessarily mean following a particular religion, but can also be believing in certain values. 9. Love ones first. Family comes first. Blue zone people are faithful and invest a lot of time and love in the family and children. Think about your loved ones more often, no matter how busy your future life is. Perhaps the most significant thing you can do is not to add more years to your life, but to add more life to your years. Now let's focus on Ikigai, having a purpose. It's a Japanese concept, a reason for being, the reason why you get out of bed each morning with a smile. What is your drive? To find your Ikigai is seen as important, and it will take you a lifetime because it may change over the years. Finding it will give you satisfaction and a meaning to life. Ikigai is formed from four elements: that what you love, that which you are good at, that which you can be paid for, and that which the world needs. When positioning these four circles on top of each other in the way you see in the slide, a new figure shows. You can find your passion in the part that overlaps the circle of that what you love and that what you're good at. Just as Bill Gates, who as a child loved to work on computer games and was extremely good in it. Probably the part of that where you're good at and where you could get paid for is the part in which you will find your profession. Here you see Roger Federer, for example. But sometimes there are things you can get paid for, but there also are the things the world needs. And you can earn much more working in a hospital or a fancy clinic than in a small hospital in a war zone. But some people feel they are called to work on a greater good, to do something about the needs of the world, not because they necessarily love to do so. They sometimes risk their own lives, but they can't look the other way. It's a vocation. They are called to the job as something bigger than themselves. And sometimes that what you love is also something the world needs. As with our Queen Maxima, whose life desire it is to do something for women entrepreneurship in countries where women do not have the same possibilities as men, but can make a difference. Clearly, a woman with a mission. All these are just examples. Sometimes you might state, given the examples, that even three circles overlap. Fact is that if you can do what you love and you're good at it, if you can make a living from it, and you can make a difference to the world, you might have found your Ikigai. But Ikigai doesn't necessarily need to be a big thing or something you need to find in your job. It might as well be found doing voluntary work in a home for the elderly or working together in your neighborhood in a central park or garden. Probably doing this kind of work you could get paid for it if it was your daily work as a gardener or nurse. But doing it voluntarily is also worth something. So being a grandfather looking after his grandchildren or helping in an animal welfare can help you find your Ikigai. Even if you have a dull desk job during working hours. Small is big. And it's interesting to see that really great examples of mankind in which we see a role model and in which we can see that they have found their Ikigai are humble and engaging people with no big egos. Ikigai is something within. It's about doing, not about talking about it. There are 5 pillars of Ikigai. Start small. Starting small and performing every step with care is the most important thing of this pillar, and it applies to everything you do in life. Craft farmers, for example, spend all time and effort creating the best and tastiest products. They get the ground right, they prune and water their products with care. Starting with attention for small things drives them to huge heights. Let go of yourself. If you let yourself go, you can let go of your obsessions, judgments, and prejudice, and see things that are important to you in a clearer and positive light. Practicing self-acceptance is vital for this pillar, and yet it's also one of the most difficult tasks we face in our lives. But if you overtake this obstacle and be happy with who you are, it can be an incredibly rewarding experience. Harmony and sustainable relations. You can't achieve your goals when you're constantly fighting with the people around you. Cultivating and maintaining a sense of community provides a strong support system to bring you through the most challenging moments of your life. Enjoy the small things in life. Finding joy in the little things, morning air, a cup of coffee or a sunbeam, must be part of what motivates you to get up every morning. Being here, being now. This pillar is perhaps the most important. To be in the here and now. It is important to focus on the present day and practice mindfulness. Having a purpose in life adds about 7 years to your life. But what goals are we talking about? And then our Western thinking can become an obstacle. We mostly set ourselves in the center when we want to achieve something. I want. And then we draw a straight line towards our goal. We determine which steps to make and in what order. We create a strategy. It is the goal itself that determines the steps that need to be taken. A more Eastern way of thinking is found in the Japanese concept of wu wei, doing by not doing. You may determine your goal, integrate it in your system, but then you have to let go. Because whatever steps you think of, life will get in the way. And hanging on to these steps will get you frustrated if things are not going the way you want. This doesn't mean being aimless or without purpose. It's about being flexible and willing to change directions. Like a sailing ship heading for America. Target stays America, but it's no use drawing a straight line on the map because wind, storms and other mischief will happen and maybe you will have to change course dramatically. But still, you can reach America. The road will determine your goal and sometimes even will lead you to another goal. But you learn a lot when you're fully present during this trip. Just go with the flow and it will take you exactly where you're meant to be. But the most important thing is not to be your own obstacle during that road trip, because you overestimate or underestimate yourself, because other people tell you you can't make it or are pushing you towards something or somewhere. Whose road you're on this moment? Is it yours? Sometimes we are the prisoners of our own ideas about ourselves. So, is there a purpose in life or a purpose of life? Does life itself has a purpose we need to follow? Is there a plan? Or do we need to create a purpose for ourselves to become happy? And then, what could be that purpose? I can't state it better than John Lennon did, as you can read on this slide. Thank you for listening.